Hello gamers! So, before we get into the video, we gotta do something else first. And you probably guessed it, it's tablet review time. I was once again contacted by Gaomon to review one of their newest tablets. This is called the M1220. The M1220 is a thin tablet that actually has tons of shortcuts, and they aren't just for drawing. Though, first things first, let's see what's in the box. Alright, so in this box, I was delighted to see that it actually came with a mouse pad and a texture sheet. Now, the original rainbow gradient design on the tablet is nice, don't get me wrong, but the texture sheet is just so much more dynamic. In the box, there's also the pen, the cable, pen tips, some adapters, and then there is also a carrying bag and a glove. So basically, just like the last tablet I reviewed, this one can also be hooked up to your phone, which is handy. So that's pretty much what's in the box, but the feature I really want to touch on are the buttons. So this tablet comes with 8 keys, all customizable. It also comes with a touch ring and a button in the middle, which actually brings up other shortcuts. Now there's more keys that are on the top, which are much more interesting. Those are multimedia keys. They do all sorts of different things like save your art, bring up your files, clear your screen, and just a lot more. Though clearly, the most important thing is that they can control your volume as well as pause videos. Honestly, it's kinda cool. Alright, now let's try drawing with it. So unlike the last few tablets I've been reviewing, this one actually didn't take me long to get the hang of. I don't know what it was. It might have been maybe the size of the pen or something, but this felt very natural to me. The tablet doesn't lag and it actually works very smoothly. Now, personally, I'm somebody who doesn't press on their pen very hard, so being able to adjust the pressure for this tablet to be perfect for me was just great. I really don't have much to complain about when it comes to this tablet. I'd say the only thing for me, because it's just personal preference, is that I wasn't used to how wide it is. I'm just not used to having a bigger workspace, so this tablet being a bit wider than what I'm used to is different. Other than that, I honestly love this tablet. I love the look of it, I love the feel of it, and of course, I love to draw with it. I use this tablet to draw the art that's going to be used throughout this video, and I think it looks very nice. I'm very proud of it. Okay, so this tablet goes for around $90, which is insanely good for what you're getting. If it sounds interesting to you at all with having all the different keys, I'd suggest it. Thank you very much, Gaomon. Now, let's move on to the video. Happy Valentine's Day, gamers! I hope you're spending it with your special one. However, if you don't have a special one, I hope your day has been peaceful and you're binging on Valentine's Day candy. Personally, I find myself in sort of a weird spot in terms of romance. Weird, but content, I guess. Anyways, I'm not exactly the luckiest when it comes to love. Every relationship I've been in has resulted in either being terrible for me or just plain dysfunctional. I hope you're interested in hearing about some bad relationships because, oh boy, I hate thinking about mine. Though before I move into the relationships, I just want to mention something that happened to me in elementary school, and it does have to do with love, I guess. It was a crush I had. It was my very first crush. So I don't remember what grade I was in, right? But I know it was elementary school. And there was this boy in class that I thought was cute. I never told anybody. I was scared of telling even my best friends. However, word got out somehow, and the next thing I knew, that boy that I liked was staring right at me. Now, I didn't know what was supposed to happen. I've never experienced a crush before that, but I didn't expect him to look at me and then have a face of disgust, then turn back. Not to mention, during that whole time, there was other kids pointing and making fun of me. All I remember is that I felt so ashamed. Now, I think of this memory and I easily can excuse it with, oh, we were in elementary school, you know, cooties and all that, but still, I can't help but also think, you know what? That's where my self-confidence issues started. Then, at the same time, I think I might have dodged a bullet because I remember that kid I had a crush on was also the same kid who stapled 2 of his fingers together and didn't cry. You can come to your own conclusions on that one. Okay, moving on, let's get to the first relationship I ever had. The first relationship I've had was in middle school. Specifically, it started in art class. I was always a wallflower, you know, the introverted type. And I was also very oblivious to any type of flirting. The only way I knew that this random kid in art class had a crush on me is because a friend told me. Now, for the sake of simplicity, we'll call this guy Cody. So, Cody was also an introvert like myself, and admittedly was a better artist than me. So after getting to know him a little better, I eventually agreed to be his girlfriend. Everything was going great, except there was one problem. And now, I didn't even pick this up until about maybe 4 months into our relationship, and yes, I am that dense. The problem was, I wasn't attracted to him, neither romantically or sexually. And for something that important in a relationship, I should have picked up on it sooner. I think about every time that he tried to kiss me and I would just push him away. Feel pretty bad about it, honestly. So after some thinking, I decided to finally end it. I pretty much told him that, he's a great friend, but I couldn't see him as a boyfriend. I thought he took it well, but thinking about it, I did tell him over text, and that's not how you break up with somebody. Anyways, the next day, I heard that he had been crying and really wanted me back, and I felt so guilty that I just took him back. To this day, I can't understand why he wanted to be with me. I almost never accepted his affections. I guess maybe there was just something about me that made him happy. I still feel bad allowing myself to get stuck in a relationship where I was unhappy though. And it just got worse because when we got to our first year of high school, another friend entered the picture, who I found a lot cuter than him, but I knew I couldn't do anything because I was still stuck with Cody. Though I can't be selfish here. I also felt bad for Cody because I felt like I was depriving him of the love that he should have been getting. Things were stuck that way for both of us for 4 years. Yeah, I'm not proud of that. The only way that our relationship ended was me moving to another country. That's what it took to end it. I'm not in contact with Cody anymore. I feel bad about it because in the end, he was a really good friend and he was a very creative artist. Things just didn't work out for us at all after I moved to a new country. Speaking of, after about a year of living in the new place, I really started getting into social media, and it started with Tumblr. And during that time, I was also into roleplaying. I ended up getting into a small group of friends that I would always roleplay with, and one of those friends is someone that we'll call Lindy. So Lindy was a bit of a nutcase, I'll be completely honest, though at first she seemed normal. She was nice and fun to hang out with, and at the time, the only issue that she had was that she can go into very depressive and suicidal episodes. Now, since she was my friend, I felt like it was my personal responsibility to help her get through it, and it just kind of worsened after we started dating. Not only did she seem rather unstable, but over time, she turned out to be just insane. Some drama started to go down in the group, and at the center of it all was Lindy and another friend that she was conspiring with. During that whole thing, I never picked up on her shit, and it was because she would always keep me in the dark. I never knew what was going on, and even if I had my suspicions, I didn't do anything, because Lindy would convince me otherwise. After her shenanigans, and her managing to break everything, she just dipped. That's it. No goodbyes, no heads up, she was just gone. She didn't even tell me anything. The person she was dating. I think at one point she tried to come back and explain herself, but I honestly didn't really know what to think. I kept thinking back on all of her actions and the way she treated me like her own personal therapist. Now, I don't mean to sound like an asshole, but having her constantly talk about how sad she was and how she wanted to off herself was so emotionally draining. And sometimes these things weren't even kept private. She would make public posts about wanting to kill herself. I don't want to seem insensitive, but I can't handle that. I have enough of my own problems to deal with. That whole relationship was just a mistake. I don't know where Lindy is now, but I couldn't care less. The saddest part to me is that I don't think that she cared about me in the first place, so the feeling is mutual. Well, on to the next one, I guess. Unlike the last relationship with Lindy, this wasn't somebody that I knew online. This was someone that I've met in school. So, as mentioned before, I've always been an introvert, and moving to a whole new country just made it worse. School in Mexico is absolutely the worst. It is just days of sitting in an empty classroom because teachers couldn't be bothered to show up since their pay was basically nothing. So that was pretty much all means for everyone in the classroom to goof around or go outside. I never talked to anybody, and no one would ever talk to me, and that's kind of the way I liked it. Though at some point, someone did talk to me. A boy that we'll call Rico. So Rico was talking to me, and that was surprising. The reason why is because he noticed that I draw, and surprise, surprise, he draws too. We started to date each other after about a year, and I think that's enough time, more or less, to get to know somebody. But I was wrong about that. 2 months into dating, he really started to show his, horny side. Rico was always the type to ask for nudes, and was always sexually active. A lot of the times, I felt out of my comfort zone. Don't get me wrong, I consented. The problem was, I don't think I was ready. It's something that I regret a lot when I think about it, so I'll just give you that advice. If you don't think that you're ready, at least mentally, just don't. Anyways, at some point I moved back to the States, and we didn't officially break up. In fact, whenever we'd talk over Messenger, it would just turn to him begging for nudes, and I got so tired of it that I just stopped talking to him altogether. And you know what? I don't think he took it harshly, because after a few days I saw that he was already dating someone else. And I won't lie, that kind of hurt. So that's pretty much every relationship I've been in. The other times I've ever had a sexual encounter were just things I don't really want to talk about. Now, I'm in a spot where I don't know what I want to do with my love life. It kind of sucks because the only goal I have in my life at this point is to just, settle down, get married, that whole thing. I'm really hoping that one day I'll get that happy fairy tale ending, but it just feels sort of impossible. Still, looking at the bright side, I'm not gonna stop trying. Anyway, sad moment over, we're just gonna end it there. The reason why I wanted to share these stories is because they've been inside for a very long time, and I don't know, maybe you can learn something from me. Just don't do what I did. So thank you very much, Gaomon. It is always a pleasure to work with you. And thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next video.